People are reluctant to be buyers. Governments are reluctant to be buyers unless they look at the potential for conflict around the globe. Geopolitics may dominate and push them to a position where they say, we're looking for a safe haven. The U.S. Treasury is still going to be that, correct?
It should be that, but let me give you some numbers. Before the conflict started in the Middle East, the 10-year Treasury was at 480. Today it's at 497. And we still face the risk of escalation of that crisis. We haven't seen the flight to quality and the flight to safety that you would expect, given what's happening in the world. The second thing that's equally counterintuitive is you have people talking about Bitcoins, about equity being the safe asset, because they've lost confidence in government bonds being the safe assets because of the nature of this interest rate risk. So yes, it should be the safe haven. It should have already benefited.
And what do you hear in this video? Something to note is it is called a flight to quality. And this isn't the only person that has said this. We've heard this from no other than Larry Fink. Larry Fink also has called Bitcoin a flight to quality. So we're starting to see the narrative change for the big boys. Are we going to see a rally soon? Bitcoin bros will say yes. And with that, before we get started, go ahead and show us some love. Smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it really helps out the channel. We really appreciate it. Getting straight into it, what do we see today? We've seen this crypto con, and what he's showing you here is golden crosses. And every time there's a golden cross with the 50 and the 200 SMAs, we can see major appreciations. So every time you see that first one, you have a dip down at 25%, then a dip back up, then a major run up. Every single time you see that first one, the blue one crossing over the gold, you have that dip down, but then the second time, a major run up. You see a blast off here of 145% to the upside, and then 579% to the upside. So right now, we just had this flip from negative to positive. We went up 38%, but look right now, what's going to happen? Are we going to see a positive continuation to the upside? Are we going to see a pullback before a blast off? You have to wait and be patient, but either way you cut the cloth, we're definitely stair-stepping out the woods and getting towards higher highs and towards that previous new all-time high. Another update from Stock Money Lizards, Bitcoin is forming this bullish pennant, and right now it's just trading in this channel. That channel is around the $33,000 to $36,000 level. This is definitely bullish, and right now this breaks out, we're gonna have a breakout retest to the upside. 40K could be on the way. And taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart, we've zoomed out and we've showed you this macro channel since this channel has been forming since way back in 2013. We've respected this resistance now once, twice, 3, and 4 times, and we've respected the support once and now twice. So what happens if we come back up to this previous resistance? Look where the price action goes to, over $400,000 per Bitcoin. That's over a 10x. Could we see that? Well, look back here. The last time we were on the floor, because we didn't really make it down there last bear cycle, but right now we did. The last time we were on the floor, what do we see? We grind on the floor and stair-stepped our way up until we made new all-time highs. But look at the RSI. If these cycles sort of rhyme but not exactly mirror, you can sort of get an idea of how many days we can anticipate this to play out and how high we could actually go. So getting our date range here, we started about here, had the peak about here. It's 1169 days, so let's draw another fractal here. And so if we bottomed out here, if we do another 1169 days from when this bottomed out, this will take us into September of 2025. Let's take us up to over a $500,000 Bitcoin price. Could we be seeing that? Could that be what's in the cards, or are we going to see it sooner, more within this green box? But tomorrow we have the FOMC. Here's everything that you can expect from the Fed's policy announcement tomorrow. Right now, there's virtually no chance policymakers will make a move either way on interest rates when the Fed concludes its 2-day meeting on Wednesday. So the Fed won't cut interest rates just yet. Its next move is expected to be good for Americans. What does Jerome Powell have in mind? Well, if we look at what they did historically since we've been in this rate hike cycle, since back in March of 2022, we went up continuously 20 to 75 basis points throughout July of 2023. September was a 0% rate change. We held at 5.25 to 5.5. So is this what we're going to see here? Are we just going to stabilize for the next few FOMC meetings before they potentially have a pivot and start to do quantitative easing? Remember, there's a presidential election next year. Now with that, the current sitting president, which is Joe Biden, that they're going to want the economy to be stimulated, people to feel like there's a little bit more money in the system, because right now, after going from 0 to 5.5 within roughly a year and 3 months, that's the fastest rate hike cycle we've ever seen, to go from 0 to 5.5. That took a lot of money out the system. So they might start easing and letting people feel like they have a little bit of money. So remember, we could see a 0% rate hike tomorrow, but then the next 6 months, could we start to see a cut? You be the judge. And take a look at the total 3 market capitalizations, something important to pay attention to, because this is the alt market. Now, we showed you the Bitcoin dominance in previous videos, and we don't quite think that Bitcoin dominance is done going to the upside. So you got to be patient there. But how high could this alt cycle go as far as the total market cap? Now, this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is all altcoins from number 3 on down on CoinMarketCap. So one thing you pay attention to is we have our 5 wave, our Elliott waves that are playing out. This is the 3rd leg. This is the 4th leg pullback. Now the 5th leg, how high can this go? We'll just put that there, but this is the structure. Now note that this 1st leg, how long can this 5th leg go? It's going to be as long as the 1st leg, but not as long as this 3rd leg. So we drew this simple pattern here. As you see the peaks here, we hit this peak. This is around 355 billion, and that's roughly where we are right now. Coincidentally, this is way back in January 2018. We hit this peak at the peak of the cycle. And then fast forward 5 years, you're sitting right back there. But as you see, these 2 peaks up here, we hit this upwards resistance level once and twice here, which was the peak of that 3rd leg. Now, the 5th leg, how high will we go? So we know we're going to be as long as this 1st leg, but not as long as this leg. So this is the bottom of the 4th leg here. If we come up and hit this peak towards the end of 2025, could this line be the length of the 5th leg? Could the 5th leg actually go up this high to about 3.45 trillion, roughly a 10x from right now? Could that be what's in store for the alt market? So look here. If we pull this down to the 1st leg, we see it's as long as the 1st leg, but once again, not as long as that 3rd leg. So this could be where that 4th leg is going to go, up to roughly between that 3.5 to 3.7 trillion dollar market capitalization range. One thing to take a note to, the fib extensions. We're going to pull this from the bottom to the previous peak, and look at this, almost has perfect confluence between that 3.618 and that 4.236. Could this be what's in the cards for the 5th leg? This could be a reality here. So there's a lot of opportunity over the next 24 months. Right now down here, if you haven't did so already, you want to start packing your bags. But remember one thing, you want to make sure your Bitcoin value of your portfolio doesn't fall to the wayside. So you have to look at the Bitcoin dominance charts, and we've went over that in other videos. But if you want us to talk about it again, we can go into a more deeper dive. So this is what we see with the alt market right now. Over the next 24 months, lots of opportunities. Don't miss out. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.